Welcome to Monday morning at One Fitness. A lot of you folks have been asking about my experience that I've had 7 weeks ago with Kokoro Camp. So I want to tell you a little bit about Kokoro. Kokoro is run by Navy SEALs, former, and from what I understand, current as well. The commander of Navy SEALs Bud Training is the gentleman who runs the company SEAL Fit, which puts on Kokoro 52-hour event. So I showed up at Kokoro in San Diego that morning, and while we were turning in our ID, the reason why they have us turn in our ID is because you're out there for 52 hours. They want to make sure no one tries to leave during the event because it's such a intense event that they don't want you to try and drive away or get into take a flight out that same day or anything like that. So they made sure you had certain things in order before you got out there to help to provide with the success of the event. So we're standing in line, and I felt like I was in Marine Corps boot camp all over again because it was just like hop to it, get in line, stand at attention, and they started to have us do all kinds of drills and stuff while we're handing in our ID. And so coaches are walking around and giving guys a hard time whether or not they seem ready for the event or not. And I'm standing there with that Marine Corps 1,000-mile stare, hoping that they don't come over and ask me if I was former military or something, because how Navy SEALs and Marines get along really great. So I didn't want to set the pace for myself by having a bunch of Navy SEALs beating me down because I was in the Marine Corps. But it was really cool because a lot of the guys that were there were young men that were planning on going into the Navy SEALs, and everyone had the same reason to a certain level for being there, but also had a similar concept of having that unbeatable mind concept. So I remember getting out of my car that morning and saying to myself, the only way I'm leaving here prior to the event being over is in an ambulance, which probably is not the smartest thing to say, but sometimes you get a little bit all ooh-rah'd up, and whatever drives you and whatever thoughts you put through your mind on how you want to accomplish something is kind of like what you do at that time. And that was just my way of saying, hey, you're not giving up for anything, Manny. So jump along and be ready for this ride right now. So going through Kokoro, like I said, one of the main things that they talk about is having that mindset of an unbeatable mind. But I want to talk to you for a second about other folks that I know that have unbeatable minds, that either I work with here at One Fitness now or during their off season, things like that. So like Anthony Rizzo, Dmitry Kolokov, Roberto Luongo, we've been together for about 15 years. Oli Okinen, great friend of mine. We've been together for about 11 years. He's retired right now, and he's running an amazing South Florida Hockey Academy. Jose Tabata, Jason Jones, Olympic sprinter, Cassie Scarabo, my sassy Cassie, who's she's a movie star in LA right now. But at a young age, Cassie, knew what she wanted to accomplish, and there was nothing stopping that young lady from achieving her goals, which thumbs up to you, Cassie. I'm very, very proud of you. And so you don't have to be a pro athlete to have an unbeatable mind, nor do you have to be someone in the military. Okay, Michael Jormark, great businessman. Runs Rock Nation in New York. I mean, you talk about an unbeatable mind right there. If I need some drive or if I need something, I just think about what would Michael do right now. Or, if you have to wake up early in the morning, I know that Michael's already up and going and rocking and rolling, gotten his workout completed for the morning and, ready to charge through the day. Okay. Lynn, she's a client of mine who, her son, he is in the Navy. He's a helicopter pilot, flies around. He's a first responder for our Navy, if someone tries to attack one of our aircraft carriers. Jonathan, thank you for what you do. Okay, Carly Marsh, I've been working with Carly Marsh for years. Young lady, she plays lacrosse, Division I. from she was a little girl, she had an unbeatable mind. She knew what she wanted. She knew what she wanted to achieve. As she got older, she would come into the gym at 5:15 in the morning and go 7 days a week. A lot of times I had to put the reins on Carly, slow down, okay? You don't need to do so much. Sometimes, more is not necessarily better. So, like I said, you don't have to be a military or pro athlete. And what about Judy? Judy, 67 years old, okay? Judy and I are constantly making positive gains with our workouts, with who she is, how she feels, the goals that she thought that she would never ever be able to achieve. We're achieving them, week after week. Judy walks in every single workout and she makes sure that I'm ready. She's like, Manny, are you ready? Because I'm gonna get better today, and I'm getting better. And I hope you're ready, because one day I'm going to challenge you, Manny. So she immediately puts a smile on my face and gets me all hyped up, ready to rock, to work with her. So, like I said, you don't have to be military, pro athlete, and things like that. But I'm going to share something with you about how we do things here at 121 Fitness. So, many years ago, I kind of thought about this. And so you have to have a vision first, all right? And with that vision, you have to set a goal, but you want to make sure these goals are attainable, all right? So now you have your vision, you have your goals. So with effort, determination, perseverance, your achievement will be success. So with this whole concept and this idea on how you do things and how you live your life and how you take on challenges, tell you a little bit more about Kokoro. So, in Kokoro, these coaches were amazing. They made sure we were hydrated all the time. They made sure we ate, because, you had to get a lot of calories back into your body, because we're constantly burning tons and tons of calories. So, and we also broken up into groups. I had my swim buddy, amazing man, Nate Bailey. Nate, I'm so proud of you for, the accomplishments that you've made, and, having that unbeatable mind, brother. And then we have our boat crews. They're usually done by size order, because they make us do some challenges where, you need to be, one can't be like a lot taller than the other. So it's 6 of us in our boat crew, and we're working with this log that probably weighs about 350 pounds. So we're out there, doing all sorts of stuff, picking the log up over our head, pressing it over our head, doing squats with it, all sorts of stuff. So, probably about 3 hours or so. So now we're bringing the log back to the main area. It's probably about 10 o'clock at night. Talk about having that light at the end of the tunnel. There was about a quarter mile away, there was a light. And I thought that light was the end of the tunnel. So we're walking and we're, just beat down with this log, every 5 seconds we're like, 1, 2, 3, up, trying to pick this log up, 1, 2, 3, up, and we're like struggling along with it. Our biceps are black and blue and things like that. And we get about 200 meters away from this light. All of a sudden the coach says, turn around. Boom. All of a sudden we're walking in a circle, huge circle with this log. And he says to us, we're not going back until one of you give up. I'm like, what do you mean one of us give up? Who's going to give up? So after talking to all the guys afterwards, realized we all felt as though we wanted to be that one to throw in the towel. And I know I felt like that. But I said to myself after a minute or so thinking like that, so wait a second. If I give up, then Nate and the rest of the guys in my boat crew, they're going to have to carry this log without me. So what 6 guys were doing before, now it's going to be down to 5 guys. So a big, each drill that we did, there was a lesson behind it. And the lesson with this particular one was, stop thinking about yourself all the time. Think about the people around you. When you have that woe's me, you're feeling down and stuff like that, sometimes you have to step up your game, all right, and carry your own stuff. Because when you drop your stuff, you let other people around you have to hold your stuff as well. And sometimes in life, yeah, maybe that might work that way. You may need others to, carry your weight and carry you along, or you may need to do that for others. But like I said, the story behind that, or the message I should say, is sometimes you just have to carry your own weight, okay? And after we carried that log for about another 45 minutes, before you know it, that light at the end of the tunnel became real. So there was a message with every single drill that we did like that. And later on that night, we went to the Pacific Ocean. Whew, man, I can't even tell you how many hours we spent out there in that cold water. And probably another couple guys, threw in a towel at that point, because at this point, I think we're down to about 16 guys after we finished about 24 hours. So we started with 28. We, from what I understand, over 50 signed up, and I understand why over 20 of them didn't show up, because when you read that warning order that you received a couple weeks before, and while you were filling out the waiver, you're like, whoa, what is this I'm getting myself into? So over 50 signed up, 28 showed up. About 24 hours into it, there's about 16 left. And we continue, we're powering through the day and stuff. And we finally got to a point where we were allowed to change over, and we were getting ready to go into the pool. And we were in the pool doing some drills in the water. And I got this massive cramp in my calf. And the coaches came over to check on me, and realized that, whoa, they looked at my toes and my feet. They were like, my toes and my foot were black and blue. And there were 5 of my toenails that, they're gone right now. It's just to give you the end of the story with that. So I told the guys, I'll be okay. I just need some bananas, need some potassium, some coconut water. When I get back to my bed, I'm good. They're like, are you kidding me? Coconut water and bananas are not gonna help you. So we kind of had a deal going where if I could get through certain things, they would let me continue. And we decided after we came out of the water, we had to do sprints. And it was kind of established earlier on in the day that I was probably one of the fastest guys out there from the 1 mile sprints that we were doing. I came in first place several times with that. And all of a sudden I was coming in last, when we're doing sprints, because my calves and my toes were just that bad. And so they basically, at that point, myself and about 2 other guys told us that we could no longer participate, and they kind of medically discharged us. So now it's down to 13 guys. And I remember going back to my hotel that night and looking at myself in the mirror and saying, wow, who are you? Okay, because I think at this point I probably lost about 10 pounds. And it was pretty interesting experience on, saying to yourself, wow, how far are you willing to push yourself before it's time to realize that maybe you might want to call it a day. And the next day I went out there to cheer the rest of the guys on, and they were down to 9 guys at that point. And it's pretty sad ending to this part of the story, because one of the guys, a couple minutes after he completed the whole entire event, he fell ill and passed away. And a part of that is, like I said, having that unbeatable mind. And he probably knew at some point that he probably should have called it a day. But when you're in a moment like that, and I can say this because I know this through my own experience, and it kind of bothered me for a little while, because I said to myself, wow, I could have been in the same situation like that if it wasn't for my calves and my feet, because mentally there was nothing that was going to stop me that day, that evening, to call it a day. But to try and end on a good note, with this, we all have an unbeatable mind. We just have to tap into it. We're all capable of doing a lot more than we think that we are. So a lot of you folks out there, you just have to realize, it doesn't take a special person to, achieve some of these goals that you see in our society with pro athletes and people who are accomplishing great things. We all have that in ourselves. Okay, we just need to tap in a little bit deeper and realize that we are capable of a lot more than what we think that we are. So I'm gonna kind of leave everything on that note today, and I just want to thank my community and thank everyone for all your support and your concern with how I did at Kokoro, and your support over the last 26 years with one-to-one fitness here in Coral Springs and Parkland, and serving the community with all the events that we do from time to time. And I just want to wish you all a wonderful Monday. Hoorah!